Hi guys, so I'm stopping by to make more Tomb Raider based videos. Now I've been having ideas. I tried one the other day and it was a complete disaster. So I just had the idea to chat about the enemies I'm gonna do the first 3. So I just thought I'd chat about them, rate them, kind of how scary they are, how much I like them, how fun I find them. I don't know why I had this idea. It could be good, it could be shit, I don't know. So the first enemy you encounter are the bats. Now 10 out of 10, these are frightening as fuck. They're really not. I just like to exaggerate it, really. They are in Anniversary. They're like prehistoric sized bats. I've mentioned it several times. They're like a Fuji dragon. They're just huge, intimidating, flapping frigging creatures. But I still kind of don't like the bats in this game, especially when you can see them trying to come through walls and doors. Just hear squeak, and you can fucking see it trying to come through the wall. It's fucking coming, it's trying to come in. And then we would have the wolves. So wolves, roar. 10 out of 10 on how startling the sound effect is. Roar. It always tickles me with surprise. I'm always very surprised by it. So I don't find them too intimidating. I can go on the floor and fight them absolutely no problem. Next we have the bears. Roar, roar. Here comes the bear. Roar. So I don't really like the bears. I never really liked the bears. They're just a big chunky fucking thing, aren't they? Just a bit scary, to be honest. I'd say a 7. A 7 on the fear factor. Wolves, I would say a 6, and the bears are a 7. Not particularly hard to kill, but I don't like them running at me. Dinosaurs, yes. So I really love Tomb Raider because of the dinosaurs, but the raptors sounded like they got Wellington boots on is rather charming. The fact they just stand there and tell you how bad their life is and don't really get a chance to run at you. In a small area with them, not very fun when you see them approaching in a tiny corridor, like in the 4th level especially. I don't really like them here. But yeah, I think the raptors are really cool, and the T-Rex is just frigging excellent. Last time I played, he ate me. Not really scary. Put him in a tiny corridor and things will change. I think it's actually more awesome than anything. So T-Rex a 3. It's not very scary until he's stomping on you. And the raptors a 2. So not very scary. We've got Larson, which we talked about many times. That I didn't know what the fuck a Larson was. The strategy guide tells me that a Larson comes to kill me. I don't mind Larson, but at the time Larson was a mystery and he was frightening because I didn't know what the fuck a Larson was. Anyway, moving on to Greece, which is lions. As long as you've got room to flip, I think the lions are quite cool. But I like the lions. I think they're quite cute. Boxy frigging lions with the square jaws and square everything. Basically, they look like they should be in Minecraft. But I love them. I love them so much. Gorillas. So, the gorillas. Don't like these. Way worse in Anniversary. This is something Anniversary did really good. They made the gorillas really scary. But I like the fact that gorillas do the side move. Come out, do the side move. What move is he going to do? Is he going to run forward, or is he going to do a side move? But I hate them. They're really scary to me. They're not exactly big, but just being in a room with them, no thank you. I'd sooner do something else. Thanks very much. So I would definitely say they're a 9. 9 out of 10 on the fear. I just don't like them. I don't know what it is about them. Crocodiles. There's 2 versions of the crocodiles. There's the ones on land, which are super flat. They're really fast, but they're easy to jump over because they're so flat. They look like they've been run over by a steamroller. I just like the sound of them when they're on land. Like a snuffly, croaky sound. It's just cute. I just think it's really cute. But when they're running at you, it's awful. Not much of a threat on land, but in the water, I just frigging hate them so much. Fucking in the water and fucking frightening. Something from your fucking nightmares. Water crocodiles are 10. Land crocodiles, I would say an 8. It's more the speed that freaks me out when they're on land. They're really fucking fast. I like their faces as well. Their little faces are quite cute till they're in the water. You know, fucking get that face away from me. Rats. rats. Don't mind them, but the size of them is rather unsettling. They're just a bit intimidating. I don't know what it is about the rats. They're just quite intimidating. I do like the fact there's a water and a land version. Unlike the crocodiles, I actually don't mind water rats. I think water rats are actually quite cute. But I don't like them on land. The squeak. Can you just chill a little bit, please? It's like a... It's like a really weird rat running sound. Why did they pick this as the running sound for the rats? Just no, thank you. Just fucking no, fuck off. The ones in the water are definitely a 10 out of 10 for cuteness. Love them. Love it so much. Yes, please, more of that. But on the land, 10 out of 10 for fear. No, they're about a 6. I just don't like them being in my location. Then in Tumatahokon, there's centaurs. They're not the scariest enemy. They've got horrible faces. But I generally think the centaurs are kind of cool, actually. Like, I find the centaurs less scary than the mummies. So the centaurs, I would say they're a 7 out of fear. They're more of a threat than anything, but if you've got places to side flip, they can't fucking hit you for shit. So moving on to Egypt now. So the first enemy you encounter is a black panther, which is just basically a black lion. It's the lions, but it's now got a black coat on. So it's the gothic lions. Here comes the gothic lion. Here he comes. It's more the scenario that makes the enemies scary to me. A big open room. Most of the enemies in these games are no problem at all. In a closed environment, horrible. And then we find the mummies. Just no fucking thank you. Just no. I hate them so much. They're so awful. They're a definite 20 out of 10 on the fear factor. Then we move on to the naked ones on the stairs. I find these less scary than the mummies. They're kind of exactly the same creature. They do exactly the same thing. Still don't like them, but I don't know. I find the mummies more frightening. They're not exactly the same thing. Just these have taken their clothes off. I think that's what's just so funny, isn't it? I've just taken my clothes off, got naked. I've become a nudist. Why the fuck not? Life is too short and I'm dead anyway, so. We just stood bolt upright. Where the fuck is she? Holy fuck. Shit. Sexy motherfucker. Gave me a striptease, taking all these fucking bandages off. So I kind of think that's kind of it for the enemies in this game. Alright. Do you want to just chill out a little bit? Do you want to just die slightly less aggressively? And then there's obviously fucking Natlo at the end, you know. Other than not knowing what the fuck a Larson was, I don't find the people very scary. Natlo is just... her brown tights are the scariest thing to me. Her brown tights. And yeah, she's fucking old. She's kept in Tupperware all these years. And there's the end boss. It isn't the end boss. I always call it the end boss, but technically... Natla is the end boss, but Natla's boss fight is so incredibly underwhelming. I don't see it as the end boss. To me, it's a torso P creature. Don't mind it. You would think I would absolutely hate it. I think it's because it's got a lot of character. To me, it's rather entertaining more than anything. The one in Anniversary made me feel sad for it. I think I've always just seen it as a mouldy P with a bob cut, so to me it's not really scary. A 2 on fear? Don't find it scary at all. I find it more cool and more entertaining. I'm sure that's all of the enemies in the first game. It seems like an underwhelming amount, but I'm sure that's all of them. But yeah, that's the first game, so yeah, generally think the enemies are very cool in this. Some of them are entertaining, some of them are a little bit more scary. So moving on to the second game. So the tigers, just a threatening feeling creature. They feel really like they could do a lot of damage to you. They like to fucking jump out of fucking corridors and places when you don't expect them. Sometimes you're not in a room and you go in and it just appears out of nowhere. Just they're like a fucking ninja tiger and I don't fucking appreciate it. So no thank you, no Frosties for you. You can fuck off now on your bike. Go somewhere else. Spiders, it's kind of a lame enemy. It's just a bit, oh, give me guns out, fucking fight a spider. It's just appeared out of nowhere. I just think the spiders are a little bit shit. They're weird. Thank God spiders don't make that noise. Can you imagine it? Just sat there watching a movie, you popcorn, you hear. So they're not so bad, they're easily dealt with, but they take a lot of ammo. Just take a lot of ammunition for a spider, in my opinion. T-Rex is in here, a lot more threatening than the T-Rex in the first game. I do just still prefer the T-Rex in the first game. He's more epic. There's two of them here. I just love the fact one teleports in. Where the fuck did he come from? He was obviously hiding in his tiny cave off to the side. It was probably hidden behind some foliage and I couldn't see it. It was so fucking well disguised. He's hiding in his foliage cave again. And moving on to the second level, straight away dogs. There's dogs. Don't really like the dogs. They're too too loud, and when they jump out of somewhere you don't expect that fucking happens. They're startling as fuck. I just think they're so horrible to be around. I just don't know why, but I just don't fucking like the dogs unless I've got a grenade launcher. Everything's fine as long as you got a grenade launcher, but if you ain't, ooh. Ooh, no fucking thank you. Phantom of the Opera and their tap shoes and their guns, which are like 10 foot long. Just being a bunch of little shitheads. Tap shooing around on the balconies. Tap shooing around in rooms that are dark. Tap shooing around down corridors. Tap shooing around in a tap shoe shop. Just tap shooing around every fucking where. Men with sticks. Just a big fucking nope on them. Awful. The sound of it when I pull up to the ledge. It's just not necessary, guys. You're already frightening enough. So the tigers, I haven't been rating them. Tigers are a definite 8. The spiders are a 2. I would even say a 1. Just a bit boring and like. And the T-Rexes, I don't even know. I like the teleporting one. He's definitely got a 10 on how interesting he is. I wasn't here, now I am. Come out of my foliage cave. Foliage cave gets a 10 for being fucking sneaky, hiding this other T-Rex in it. Dogs, a 9. I don't fucking like the dogs. Loads of men, different guns, different variety of men with guns. Just, yeah, they're all about the same scoring. Did I score the men? 7. I find the tap shoot sound effects both entertaining and frightening. When you hear them and you don't know where they are, it's not a nice sound. But when you know they're coming, it's just such a funny sound effect for them running and like that. The guys with the sticks is more, it's quite playful, isn't it? There are the scuba divers in here. An enemy in water with you. Just no thank you. Just can you not? If they were waddling around on the land in their flippers, I think it would be completely different. That would be really hilarious. But they're in the water breathing like Darth Vader. And when you jump in you hear... It's just nightmare fuel and I fucking hate it. I forgot the crows, by the way. I completely skimmed over the crows in the first level. I think they're in like 2 levels. They're in Disembark Hang Monastery and I think that's it. You don't see the crows anymore. But a 3. I think that's it for this level, really. Oh, no it's not. No, it's fucking not. There's flamethrower guys. If you've got room, they're absolutely no problem. If you know where they're coming from and you've backed off and got enough room between you and his flamethrower, they're not really an issue. But I hate the sound of them. I don't like the fact they don't leave you anything. Not a single thing. A medipack, a piece of ammo, his flamethrower, nothing. Not even a thank you note. Thank you for putting me out of my misery. No letter of gratitude, no love notes, nothing. No piece of cucumber. Fuck all, basically. So next level, the sharks start coming into it. Don't mind them. Even though they're an in-water enemy, I don't mind them so much. They're very slow and you can swim away from them quite easy. They are very dangerous when they bite you. But as long as you keep moving and you're not near them, they're not an issue. And I think the sharks are actually kind of cool. I like the teleporting one that comes in later, just teleports in right in front of you. Not even fucking hiding the fact he just appeared. He wasn't there, now he is. Even been in the water with them. I don't mind it so much. The barracudas, on the other hand, I don't like being in the water with the barracudas. I don't know why. You think I would hate the sharks more because they're bigger and more dangerous. So sharks, I would say, is like a 6. The scuba divers, most definitely a 9.5. The guy with flamethrowers, and 8. They are very dangerous, so I should really put it up to a 9 because they are very deadly if you're not far enough away. And they're frightening, the sound of them, just not pleasant times. Then we move on to the snow locations, Tibetan foothills, the eagles. I don't like the eagles because they're very silent. I think when they flap, they make a sound. But when they're drifting, it might be the same for the crows as well. When the birds are drifting, you don't hear them. And this, like the wingspan of the eagles is just a bit intimidating to me. I just don't like being in a room with an eagle. Or just in the squeak of them as well. They're such a high pitched. It just hurts your ears more than anything. Can you just not be so loud and squeaky all the time? So yeah, I just don't like the size of their wingspan. I think they're quite an intimidating enemy to see floating through the sky. I just don't fucking like them. I'd say they're a 6. Not particularly scary, not particularly threatening, but the fact they just come out sometimes and float around silently. It's just kind of a bit sneaky, and so there's new henchmen in this one. They're very, very tough and they take frigging ages to go down, but they're a rather entertaining enemy. I like the crunchy snow sound effects of their feet. And I like the fact that they're like balaclavas and stuff on. I just think they're a really interesting looking enemy. The sound of them is fun. They are tough, but running over them with a snowmobile is just highly entertaining, I must say. But I don't even feel threatened when they come out. I just think they're a fun enemy that like suit this region very well. And I just generally like the balaclava wearing henchmen. I think they're really cool. They're like a 4. I don't find them scary at all. Snow leopards, cute as fuck. Holy shit, are they sweet. So there's one that gets kind of hooked on a rock so it don't hurt you. It's just walking around on this platform and it's just almost like you've got a pet. If you run up with it, it would totally change its tune and attack you in the face. But yeah, I like the snow leopards. A 4, not very scary, more cute than anything. So we have, oh yeah, god damn it, the snowmobiling men. I hate the fact you hear a snowmobile coming out of the darkness. That's what's scary. You hear it out of the distance coming, the snowmobile. That's the scary thing, just the sound of them coming in. But flipping around to avoid them is actually quite entertaining. It's actually quite hilarious. It's frightening, but it's also very hilarious too. I actually had a good time with them this time. I hate them usually. I think they're one of the most frightening enemies in the game. I just think it's because they're so unstoppable and dangerous. So yeah, we move on to Barkhane Monastery, which to me is still an entertaining level name. It's kind of the same sort of enemies, but there's the monks now. They aren't an enemy until you accidentally shoot them once, and then every single one of them fucking knows and turns on you, and they're a fucking frightening, tall, menacing, fucking burgundy trouser wearing bastard. They're frightening anyway when they're on your side. When they turn against you, there's nothing worse. They're so scary, and the fact that they pop out of rooms and you don't know they're there, it's just awful. But yeah, they're a frightening fucking presence. Whether they're friendly or against you, they're just not very fun time. I would say they're a 9. They're just so intimidating and tall. So then we start moving on to Yeti territory. I do feel a little bit better about them, but I still didn't have a fun time with them, to be fair. Just very ferocious and aggressive, and they just sound awful. They sound awful when they walk around. They sound awful when they idle. They sound awful when they tell you about what their favourite sandwich filling is. And they're just awful. They're underwhelmingly tiny. I think they're the same height as Lara, maybe a little bit shorter. The way they animate and their faces. Ooh, speak fucking nope on this one. White tigers, basically a normal tiger with a different paint job. The big bird boss, it's his size morning is an unusual thing, isn't it? Like, it's kind of a weird like thing to put in. It feels kind of out of place. Like, why did they put this in? This big bird thing. I don't know what it means, what it is, why it is. I just don't fucking know, because tree, basically. You know, because tree. Then moving on. So he's not very pleasant. I don't like his sound effects. I don't like the way he just comes out of his ice cave. Hello, have you got the daily paper? I need to know what the fuck is going on in the world. Moving on to the Temple of Zion. So now we have the smoked variety of barracuda. It's a catfish. It's basically a yellow barracuda with whiskers. It's just a smoked fish now. We got smoked fish. Nothing really going on enemy-wise that's different. It's starting floating islands. This is when it starts to get interesting with the enemies. I don't think Temple of Zion has anything different other than the giant spider. The giant spider, is an 8. It's so interesting. It's the only time it comes into the game. It's in a very short amount of level, and it's kind of kept very minimal, and I think that's really important because it makes the giant spiders kind of stand out. I don't like them very much, the sound of them dropping down from the ceiling, especially if you're up on a tiny ledge with one. That's the worst time that they come out on the main floor. I deal with them. I ran out of flares this time though, and it was super fucking frightening. This area was fucking horrible because I couldn't see anything. I just knew a giant spider would drop down from the ceiling and it was somewhere coming to get to me. So yeah, I really don't think there's anything else really, just the usual kind of enemies in here. But then we move on to like the floating islands, which is just a fucking note on the whole fucking level, to be fair. The floating warriors, just fuck off with that shit. Such a horrible sound effect when they're coming in, the way they float towards you. When you've got the M60, is it M16? Yeah, absolutely no fucking problem. You can see them really far away and you can kill them quite fast. But if you're taking them down with pistols, for example, they probably land on the ledge with you, and you just don't fucking want that. That is horrible. I hate the land warriors. When I was cheating, I realised what a horrible fucking experience this level was, because usually I blow them up in statue form with my grenades, but I didn't really have that many. I blew a couple up, but most of them I had to leave. So these fucking warriors, they're so strong and powerful, and they sound really cool actually. They do make a human hit kind of sound, which kind of takes away the experience. It's like a hit. It's very human because they don't look human to me. They don't sound human when they're activating. They don't sound human when they're running around. But when they go, hey, it just makes you think it's just a person. It's just a fucking person, which makes them slightly less frightening. I don't know why they gave them a human voice. They just go, hey. But yeah, when they go, it's less frightening. They should have just not made them make a sound, because they go, rah, when they activate. It's just fucking awful. And then they go, hey. It's like, it's just not fucking scary no more. So these are definitely a 10. The floating warriors I would say is a 9. I don't like them. I hate the sound effect of them. Seeing them activate, float towards you in the darkness. Awful. But they're slightly less intimidating than the ones that run around on the floor, because they float towards you most of the time. So they're in, well, one down the bottom animating, so he gets a bit of ammo pumped into him. Doesn't really get a chance to do anything. But the ones that are warriors, they're right away ready to go. Since they start activating, you're like, well, my time here is about to get 5 times fucking worse. Because, yeah. So I think it's just those really in this level. There's not really anything else. There are the ninjas later. Throw plastic cutlery at you. Strong as fuck. Really powerful when they hit you with their plastic forks and knives. But that's it, kind of the warriors and the ninjas, and that's kind of it. There's kind of like 3 enemy types on a level. It's usually about 3 enemy types, maybe 4, and that's it. So that's what there is: the ninjas, the floating warriors, and the battle floor warriors. Just a horrible fucking level for enemies. I hate all of the enemies in here. The ninjas are a little more entertaining, but they're fucking tough when they throw shit at you. So I think that's it. And then the dragon, obviously, at the end. Swipey hand dragon. I think that's me rated all of the enemies in the first 2 games. I don't think I missed any, and if I did, they're probably that unimportant that I just completely forgot about them, basically. So the 3rd game. What can I remember about this? Not very much about it. I know there's tigers and monkeys in it. So yeah, the 3rd game, can I really do this? Not really. There isn't really that much I can remember. I don't like the guys that run out and go, hey! Running out from this abandoned elevator shaft going, oi! I just don't fucking like it. No, thank you. I don't like the way these guys look, actually. I don't know, they're freaky. Snakes. Just have to sit on the spot. Can't do anything else. Tribesmen. Oh, fuck yes. So we might do a part 3 sometime, but I'm going to leave it at that because I think this is okay. It's alright. It's a video anyway, so yeah, I may do a part 3, but I need to research it because I don't really remember what's what, where's what, and yeah. But just first of all, the tribesmen are a definite 20 out of 10. Just fucking hate those bastards. Anyway, I think that's everything. Bye, guys.